So my son, who knows a whole lot more about making YouTube videos than me, has been telling me that I've been doing a couple things wrong. So first off, he's telling me that all of the good YouTubers put the titles of their videos in all caps. So maybe I'll give that a try. The other thing he's telling me is that I'm supposed to be making thumbnails. Well, I'll get around to that sometime, just not right now. But tonight I wanted to talk about a verse in Scripture that I've read many times and pondered on quite a bit. It's actually found in the Book of Mormon, and it's given by a prophet named Lehi, who's speaking to his sons, and he says this during that lesson that he's giving to his sons. He says, "Adam fell that men might be, and men are that they might have joy." It's that last phrase there, the last part of that I like to talk about. That men are that they might have joy. What do you think about that? Are you finding joy in your life? I mean, I know a lot of people that go through some pretty hard times. They're facing some pretty tough challenges, some trials. There seems to be a lot of sorrow sometimes in life. So really, are we able to find joy? Are we meant to find joy? And I'd say yes, we are meant to find joy. And there's in the very next verse, he says makes another statement that I also want to tie into this. He says, "Because that they are redeemed from the fall, they have become free forever, knowing good from evil, to act for themselves and not to be acted upon." And I think that's kind of a key thing there. We've been given the freedom so that we can act. We can choose to act and not just be acted upon. So life may bring us some big challenges, some unexpected things, some things we don't really like, some trials. But we're meant to act, not to be acted upon, not just to let life act upon us. And so it's that choice to act that I want to tie right back to that statement that men are that they might have joy. Because joy is a choice. It's a mental state that we can choose, no matter what our circumstances, we can choose to be experiencing joy. It's much like a book that I just finished reading called Attitude is Everything. It talks about how we can choose our attitude. That's a choice we make, and we can choose to have a positive attitude. Well, that ties right back into joy. We can choose to have joy. And I just want to talk about one aspect of that. I mean, there's many things that we can do to improve our attitudes and to choose joy. But one of the things I want to talk about is gratitude. Because if we can find gratitude in all things, that will help us find joy. A couple of years ago, I made it a point to start focusing on gratitude in my life and to be looking at the positive side of things, to have an attitude of gratitude and thankfulness in my heart and focus on those things as I would be praying on the things that I'm grateful for and not the things that I don't have. And I wrote a quote up on the whiteboard here in my office to help remind me of that. And it actually comes from a pop song, maybe not one of a source that you might think of choosing for this type of inspiration, but it came from a pop song by Sheryl Crow. And the lyrics of that song, at one point it says this, it says, "It's not having what you want, it's wanting what you got." And so I wrote that on my whiteboard because that's exactly what I focus on. I didn't want to continue focusing on things I didn't think I had, which would make me wish for other things. I wanted to focus on what I've got and be grateful for what I had, and it really helped me. And so this attitude of gratitude, I think if you can develop an attitude of gratitude, it will help you tremendously in choosing joy and finding joy in life. No matter what's happening in your life, no matter how dark it seems or what challenges you're going through in life, you can find something to be grateful for. Focus on those things you can be grateful for. I mean, do you have a bed to sleep in? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food to eat? Focus on those things and develop that attitude of gratitude, and it'll help you tremendously. There's a couple verses that I want to read because these express the power. There's power in gratitude. There's power in giving thanks, and also in a cheerful heart, which goes right back to that joy and choosing joy. And these verses actually come from the Doctrine and Covenants, section 59, and it says this: "And inasmuch as you do these things with thanksgiving, with cheerful hearts and countenances, not with much laughter, for this is sin, but with a glad heart and a cheerful countenance. Verily I say that inasmuch as you do this, the fullness of the earth is yours, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air, and that which climbeth upon the trees and walketh upon the earth." So basically what the Lord's saying there is, if you give him thanks in all things and come to him with a cheerful countenance, choosing joy and having that attitude of gratitude, the fullness of the earth is yours. Everything that's here can be made available to you. And that's a promise given in the scriptures from our Father in heaven. So develop this attitude of gratitude, choose joy, and these scriptures can make a difference in your life. Once again, thanks for listening.